Hey guys, it's Sarah. So today I wanted to share my 30 Days of Gratitude Traveler's Notebook with you. I'm kind of bummed because it's a bit of a gray day outside, so I'm not going to have the best lighting here, but I still wanted to kind of share this before December comes, and I've been sharing all of my pages over on Instagram, but this will kind of give you an overview of the entire notebook all together, and so I can kind of talk you through how I put together some of these pages. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I have this other notebook here just so I can kind of share the difference between the notebook that I used and a traveler's notebook that has lighter weight pages. So I used the number 12 Midori Traveler's Notebook. I bought mine on Amazon.com, and I was going between these two different styles. This one I believe is the number 3, and this one has lighter pages. So this is like a regular lightweight paper. And then this, in the number 12, is almost like a cardstock. So that was really great for being able to stamp on the pages and not worrying about having too much bleed through. And I was also able to do some watercoloring, and it didn't really go into the next page. So that was really nice. I loved that. And then I also loved the white cover. Mine got a little bit dirty just because I tend to not be the cleanest stamper, and my hands are usually fairly inked up, and so it was a little bit challenging to keep it clean. It did stay actually pretty clean. You can see like some markings on the side here, but for the most part it was kept pretty clean, and that doesn't bother me. So just to kind of mention some of the consistent products that I was using throughout my notebook. I did use a lot of different stamp sets and a lot of different sorts of embellishments and stickers that I had on hand already. But I kept coming back to a few things. One was the Ranger Archival ink in jet black. I used that to stamp all of my titles and just a lot of the other stamps inside of my notebook. And then I also used the Ali Edwards Just Thankful set. I used the sentiment up at the top, I am thankful for, on every page. And I knew in the beginning that I was going to use an alphabet stamp set for my title. So I knew I wasn't going to need this line, so I just trimmed it off so I wouldn't have to worry about it. And I figure if I ever need that line, I can just adhere it onto the stamping block and just stamp it right next to the sentiment. But I also used a lot of the other sentiments as I was working on my notebook too, so this came in really handy. And then for all of my stamps, my stamping that I did in color, I used the Hero Arts. These are the Clearly Kelly dye inks, and so that just added a little bit of color into my notebook. And then the other stamp set that I used consistently throughout my notebook was the Southport Alphabet stamp set by Kelly Purkey, and that one is so dirty I don't even have it on my desk, but if you look at this title here, 30 Days Of, that was the stamp set that I used to stamp out that title. So let me just move this off to the side and open this notebook for you. I have just a regular twine that's kind of holding this closed, but I don't have it adhered or anything. I'm probably just going to tie it up whenever I'm not looking through it, just to kind of hold it together. And on my first page here on the cover, so it always comes with this very lightweight page that has this box. That's how all of the Midori Traveler's notebooks come. And in this box, I stamped the so much to be thankful for in this life from the Ali Edwards stamp set. I just stamped that directly in the middle and then wrote out November 2016 so I can remember when I made this particular notebook. And then I decided for my cover page that I wanted to have a quote. And I meant to do quotes throughout my entire book. But as I was working on this, because I tend to work on my notebook on the weekends and I'll put together like maybe 4 or 5 pages at a time, I just kind of ran out of steam and ended up not doing any other quotes throughout my notebook. So this was kind of the only one, but I'm really happy to have it here. I really love this saying, start each day with a grateful heart, and it was a great way to kind of start off this project and start off this notebook. So I used just very basic watercoloring. I am not an expert in watercoloring by any means. I just put down a splash of yellow color here. I used the Crayola watercolors, and this stamp is an alphabet stamp set by Christine Heron. So I just used my archival Ranger black ink just to stamp that. And then on this side, I adhered some pattern paper from Felicity Jane. So I try not to use too much pattern paper, just because I didn't want my notebook to be too bulky. I already knew that it was going to be somewhat bulky because of the cardstock pages that are already in the notebook, but I kind of switched up how I was using pattern paper on some spreads and then using stamps to make pattern paper on other pages. So I'll kind of show you how I did that. And then jumping into the first day here, I just have this random little tag that I like kind of sticking out of the notebook. I think it adds a little bit of interest. Sometimes I would use a full spread for one of my days of gratitude, and then on other days I did just one page of the spread for each day. So I kind of had to figure out, I didn't have enough pages in my notebook to do a full spread for each day. So I just kind of went back and forth between doing a full page spread for one thing and then one page for each thing I was grateful for. So it kind of started off with a photo on this side and then journaling on this side. This was the most journaling that I did in the entire notebook. I thought that I would journal more, but I think every time I sat down, it just, I don't know, putting together 4 or 5 pages at the same time, I don't know, it becomes a lot sometimes. And if you don't have a lot of time, like I sometimes don't have a lot of time, I just wanted to get my photo down, get my title down, and just write a few things that I was thinking about, what I was grateful for. So not a lot of journaling, but I still really like having sort of those thoughts written down. So here I used a stamp kind of as a border around this photo. On this page I did one pattern paper on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side I decided to do a lot of stamping in different ink colors. So that's where my Clearly Kelly inks come into play, and I just used a lot of travel themed stamps just to kind of vary them throughout the spread. I masked off this area just so I could stamp this Feed Your Craft 3x4 card right here in the middle and do some journaling. And I actually have a process video that I put together for this page where I show how I kind of masked off an area. So I'll link that below if you're interested to see how I did that. And it's just a really easy way to kind of add in some color and some embellishments without adding any bulk. That's why I really love stamping. So I like how that turned out. And then here I kind of brought in some rub-ons and some stickers and some washi tape here just to kind of embellish. On this page I used some more pattern paper here, and then another piece of pattern paper here so I could stamp with gratitude. Here I also have a little index card where I stamped out my title for Fresh Flowers. And then this is just a little Felicity Jane tab that I stuck behind the photo so I could stamp out thankful. This is a page, this is probably one of my favorite pages in the notebook. I loved how these gold accented embellishments, these flowers looked. These are rub-ons from Amy Tangerine, and they just, I don't know, I really love how they kind of blend in with the page, and how this one kind of goes behind the photo and this one fits perfectly down here. And I used a Felicity Jane pattern paper on this side, just kept it very simple on this side, but I love how the gold kind of balances out, how it's like a 1-2, you know, like a triangle effect. So yeah, that ended up being probably one of my favorite pages. And then this is a page that I put a process video. I filmed the process video for this page, so that's the one I'll link below if you're interested in that. This one again, I used stamping as my pattern background and masked off this area for my title. This one I actually ended up stamping the entire page and realized that I hadn't done my journaling, so I did just a very little bit of journaling around my photo on that border. So that ended up working out. I probably would have written a little bit more had I saved the space, but I had already completed this page and I didn't want to redo the page, so that is how I kind of fixed that. And then here I used a little bit of torn pattern paper, and here also just a little strip of pattern paper. And here you can see there was a little bit of bleed through from this side onto this page, but I think it kind of adds just, actually it's on this page too, you can see a little bit from this stamping, but it's not too bad. It's not enough to distract you from what's actually on this page, so I don't mind that at all. I think you could definitely, put down some pattern paper if, you're bothered by that, or I don't know, embellish or do a little bit more on your page to kind of cover it up, but that doesn't bother me, so I just kind of left it like that. This one, I used the Weekend Brunch stamp set by Kelly Purkey, and I actually used the weekend stamp that came in that stamp set instead of spelling it out using the Southport alphabet stamps. So that just kind of worked perfectly there. And then some days I felt like I was so tired and kind of was trying to find energy to put together pages. So this one ended up being super simple with just the photo and washi tape and the title and a little bit of journaling. You'll see a couple of pages that are just so simple like that. And I like having the very simple pages spread throughout my notebook. I love embellishing. I have so much fun doing it, but sometimes it can just get a little bit overwhelming. So having a simple page thrown in there and not having to worry about spending a ton of time embellishing, it's kind of a nice backup plan. So I like doing that there. And then here, kind of switching up the direction of my writing, going vertically here, just trying to keep it a little bit, a little interesting, adding some interest to the different pages. Probably another one of my favorite pages here. I loved how these flowers, I did some fussy cutting to cut out these flowers from Felicity Jane, and I love how this little piece kind of overlaps the photo there. And I think this Felicity Jane pattern paper, I think all of these were from the Emmeline collection, and they're just so beautiful. I love sort of the feminine pink color of them, and I had a lot of fun using them throughout my notebook, so that was nice. Here I couldn't decide which photos I wanted to use, so I decided to use all three of the photos that I had. And it was just kind of a fun way to do this layout on this page, so I could talk a little bit about my gratitude for the friendship that I have. Another very simple page with just a couple pieces of pattern paper behind my photo. And I just completely left this blank, didn't even worry about it. On this one, I thought I was going to do kind of an ombre effect here, so I was going to go from dark green to light green. I didn't have enough ink colors to do that, and if I tried to kind of use the same ink and make it lighter throughout, it didn't quite show up by the time I got to the bottom, so that didn't work out. I just did 3 different colors here, and I still like how it looks. I think you could kind of change up the direction, so maybe stamp in an upward diagonal, and then kind of stamp downwards and then up again. I think that could kind of add more of an interest and just keep things interesting there. But this was just kind of a fun pattern to play with. And then I finally was able to use my succulents washi tape here. I love how it added in a little bit of gold foil there. So that was fun. And then I love this cute little picture of Nugget eating the plants. Another simple page where both pages were pretty much taken up completely by the titles, so didn't really have to do much there. This one I used the, oh gosh, I think it's the Around Town stamp set by Kelly Purkey. There's an arrow that comes in that, so I just stamped them at different lengths on this side, and then I used the home stamp as my title here as opposed to using the Southport alphabet stamp. My concern was that I didn't want it to look exactly like this page because this was also about home, so I wanted it to have a bit of a different feel. So I kind of did the title that way just to make it a little bit different, and then did my journaling on this side. Got very simple towards the end here as I was wrapping up my notebook. And that's it. I thought that I would do a little bit of journaling just about the experience, but right now all I have here is this sentiment that says, giving thanks for this imperfect and wonderful life. So that is how I finished my notebook. This is the very last page in here, so I could technically do something with these pages if I wanted to. My guess is they're going to end up blank. I'm not going to end up filling them, but I'm so happy that I was able to complete this album, and I'm very happy with it. I think this will be an awesome project to look back on, and this was my second year doing this, so I still love looking back at last year's, and it's just really great to have this book filled with memories. So thank you so much for watching and seeing how this came together. If you completed a gratitude project, please link it below. I would love to check it out, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.